October 13th, 9:36 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby, number 4. Hey, Nick! What is it? Is something wrong? Nah, but did you see all the people in here? It's crazy. Oh, look at this. I brought this mask to mask publicity photo. You brought that? Where?
From the little tents in front of the courthouse. They have all sorts of things for sale.
You know, I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff. That's gonna be evidence in some way? Interesting. Come on, I'm guilty. Throw the book at me. Who's screaming like that? Oh, Mr. Wright, you've made it. Yeah, I did, but it doesn't look like things are going to get any less ugly for you. Because I did it. I am the criminal. Me. Ugh. He's at it again. I sent the calling card to Lordly Taylor. I admit it. But you don't have the sacred urn, right? Well, that's true, but that doesn't mean I didn't commit the crime. Normally when I say of course you didn't, I'm being sarcastic, but yikes. Anyway, I admit that I'm guilty. So make sure they give me a guilty verdict. Please. Oh, there you are, Ronnie. Bonjour, sweetie. Oh, Desi, honey. Bonjour. Well, actually, I don't really know why I should be speaking French to you at a time like this. Leave it all to me, Ronnie. I swear I'll protect you. Well, you see, actually the thief is, Can I tell you something, Nicky boy? I can guarantee that my Ronnie is innocent. If he's declared guilty, I'll be ever so cross with you. So why are you smiling when you say it? Well, if you'll excuse me, I've got some errands I need to take care of. I'm counting on you, Nicky boy. Good luck. To be honest, I really don't know whether Ron is mask to mask or not, but there's only one thing I am sure of. Doesn't have the sacred urn right now. Excuse me.
Mr. Delight, it's time for you to enter the courtroom.
For the time being, I guess I'll have to trust Desiree. October 13th, 10 a.m. District Courtroom number 6. Is that Godot?
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. Why does this guy have a triple visor? What's going on?
What about the prosecution? Are you prepared to...
Let's give him a good voice. Let's give him a fun little voice. Let's see if we can't find something good for him. I kind of want to give him a robot-y voice. A little bit. Maybe a little deeper, but yeah. A little bit like this.
Yeah. Yeah, like that. Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's it. Right there. Keep. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. What a stupid question. What did you say? Fine. Let me ask you then, Your Honor. Are you ready? Are you ready to pass judgment? What? No, I'm not. I will pass judgment after I hear arguments from both sides. Well, if you're not ready yourself, you shouldn't expect others to be. That's a rule to live by.
This guy sucks.
Who are you? I am Godot, legendary prosecutor. I have never lost a case.
I like his music. He's the one that Detective Atme was talking about.
Yes, your reputation precedes you. What kind of cases have you dealt with so far? Ha! None! What did you say? I've never prosecuted a case before. Never? But you said you've never lost before. Exactly. I've never lost. I've never won before either.
Quite arrogant for a beginner, aren't you?
Even the mightiest of redwoods begin their lives as mere saplings.
Yes, but a mask?
In a court of law?
Huh. Don't you know anything? No matter the man, we all wear masks. Either on our faces or over our hearts.
This guy's the real deal, all right, Nick. Why does it seem like all prosecutors are the real deal?
So we finally meet Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Nick, is he a friend of yours? No, I don't have any friends that call me Trite. Just who is this masked man?
I've returned from the depths of hell to do battle with you.
Well then, Prosecutor Gobo?
It's not Gobo, it's Godot, Your Honor.
In any case, please give your opening statement.
Opening statement? Those things are not fit for even dogs to consume. I have only one thing to say before we start. To you, Mr. Trite.
What is it?
Are you familiar with the saying, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link? I wonder, how much can you withstand before you and your case break in two?
Well then, let's hear from the first witness.
Good old Gumshoe. So my name is...
No one has asked for your name, witness.
Ugh.
The important thing is what you know. That is all. Start talking. We're listening.
Yes, sir.
All right, witness. First, let's hear about what you know about the thief that stole the urn.
Yes, sir. Mask de masks crimes. Mask de Mask is a master thief that first started his crime spree about 6 months ago. He's so confident that he sends his calling cards before he even commits the crime. This was his 5th heist, and as usual, he sent a card on to Lordly Taylor. His pattern is to always go after only the most precious pieces of art. That's why we were sure it was Mask de Mask, sir. It fits his MO to a T.
So then the actual identity of this Mask de Mask is... Mr. Godot, you...
I'm sorry, what?
We're in the middle of a trial here, Mr. Godot.
Blacker than a moonless night. Hotter and more bitter than hell itself. Oh yeah, now this is coffee. I'm sure you can grant me at least this much, Your Honor. Oh, please proceed.
Very well. It's only coffee after all.
What? You can't be letting him slide this early in trial.
Proceed with your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Well, Nick, what are you gonna do?
As long as they haven't brought up Mr. Delight's identity, all we can do is show that it wasn't Mask de Mask who stole the urn.
Mask de Mask's crimes. Mask de Mask is a master thief that first started his crime spree about 6 months ago. Have you been involved in the investigation from the beginning? Yup, nobody knows more about the thief than me, pal. It's true, I'm a Zavari, author on thieves. An author? He's written books about thieves? I think he probably meant to say authority. The fact that this guy can slip through even my fingers shows how good he is, pal. It's easy when those fingers happen to be butterfingers. Press harder. So nobody knows more about the thief than you, huh? You got it, pal! Except for maybe the thief's mom, that is. But isn't there someone who knows even more about him than the police? You don't mean Detective Zavari, does ya?
Who is this person, Zavari? He sounds German.
His name is Luke Atme, sir. I guess I shouldn't have made up such a silly name for him. What the heck? I guess he's not that famous after all. Anyways, it's true that he did manage to retrieve the last item the thief stole.
Oh, I see. It seems you're not the expert you claim to be.
Ugh. Looks like that thief is playing with me even now. He's so confident that he sends his calling cards before he even commits the crimes. Have you seen all of these so-called calling cards? Of course I have. Except the person in charge at a treasure exhibit never brought their card to the police. So I didn't see this one until after the crime occurred. That's because Detective Atme stopped Miss Andrews from taking it to the police.
Was the calling card that Lordly Taylor received authentic?
Well, all the cards have one thing in common. One identifying feature. But we're not releasing that information to the general public.
But you're absolutely certain that this card is real.
Gumshoe can't say it out loud, but I bet he's talking about Masque de Masque's emblem. This was his 5th heist, and as usual, he sent a card on to Lordly Taylor. A 5th heist. And your 5th screw-up then, huh? Objection, pal! That ain't fair. Maybe you could say I screwed up 4 times, but this last time wasn't my fault. I didn't know about the calling card this time. You of all people shouldn't be chuckling about this, Detective Gumshoe. I just want everyone here in the courtroom to know something. If you ever get a calling card from this guy, don't call some stupid private eye. Call your local police right away. Got me? Wow, it looks like he's really got it in for Detective Atme. His pattern is to always go after the most precious pieces. Sorry, yawned. Art pieces? Like what, for example? Well, his first target was the famous Tear of Emanon.
What's that? Some kind of especially salty teardrop?
No, sir. It's a blue diamond. A single, rare diamond. Next was the Crown of Bongora. You know, the thing you put on your head. After that was the Left Hand of Hades, and then the Portrait of Magina, sir. Detective Atme retrieved the Portrait of Magina and returned it to the museum. And the target of his 5th and last robbery was the Sacred Urn, right?
But isn't it difficult for him to dispose of such famous art pieces?
Well, we assume he must have some underworld connections. Somehow, Mr. Delight doesn't look like the type. Yeah, he's a little too sunny to be hanging out in the underworld. That's why we were sure it's Masque de Masque, sir. It fits his M.O. to a T. What do you mean when you say it fits his M.O. to a T?
I was thinking of asking the same thing myself.
I wish you would listen a little more closely, pal. First of all, there's the calling card. We're 100% certain it's authentic. Then there's the fact that he seemed to know all about the security systems. And finally, his target was an art piece. These are all part of the thief's modus operandi.
And so, since this robbery seems to fit all those conditions...
That's right. It means that Masque de Masque is behind it. Nick, it definitely looks like it was Masque de Masque who stole the urn. But there's no real evidence either way to whether Ron Delight is Masque de Masque. But also, the urn hasn't turned up yet, let alone in connection to Mr. Delight himself. So even though we know it was Masque de Masque that did it, maybe for the time being I should try to show it wasn't Masque de Masque that did it. Okay, how can I prove that? Let's take a look at my evidence. I have nothing of use there. The treasure exhibit poster. I am. Little thing. The golden statue. The sacred urn, supposedly priceless, has no monetary value. Damasque's calling card. To security at Lordly Taylor, I will be coming to purloin the most priceless work of art on display in your Treasures of Corain exhibit. Okay. Camera, data. I got the picture too. Camera, photo. He's there and he's got a box in his hand. But is that box necessarily the urn? The urn was supposed to be in the box, but it's not decisive evidence right there. The blackmail letter, if you don't want your true identity revealed to the world, come to KB Security at 1 a.m. on October 5th and bring... Okay, if you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead. I gotta see... I want to get the list of things he's stolen one more time. And the publicity photo right here. But yeah, I want to investigate that. I want to get the press statement of the different things he's stolen real quick. Is there a red diamond among them? I know there's a blue one. Okay, first was Tear of Eminon. It's a blue diamond. Next was the Crown of Bongora, you know, the thing you put on your head. After that was the left hand of Hades, and then the portrait of Magina. So, a crown, a left hand, a portrait, and a blue diamond. There's no red diamond involved in any of these crimes that the blackmail letter is referring to. That's something I think we wanna keep, like, thought of. We wanna definitely not forget that in particular. Sorry, I was just looking at a thing. Alright. That's why we're sure it was mask to mask, sir. It fits his MO to a T. But here's the thing. No monetary value. That's what makes this suspicious. It doesn't fit his MO to a T. It has no monetary value, right? Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Objection! Can I ask you a little something, Detective Gumshoe? Just hearing a little in that question is making me nervous, pal. You said that he always goes after the most precious art pieces, right? That's right, pal. But there's only one problem. That's not what he did in this case. The supposedly priceless urn doesn't exactly rise to the level of precious art. What do you mean? Nick, how can you say such a terrible thing? No, I mean from a financial point of view. I mean, it wouldn't fetch a good price.
Well, Prosecutor Godot, what is the value of that urn? The appraisers I spoke to said they couldn't attach a price to it. And I mean that in the worst sense.
So, in other words, it was not the kind of item that Mask to Mask would normally go after. Ugh.
If I understand you correctly, Mr. Wright, you're saying that the thief of the sacred urn was not the work of Mask to Mask?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Actually, all I did was point out the contradiction. The argument made itself, but...
Well, first of all, we need to get this issue cleared up. Was the last robbery the work of Mask to Mask or not? What do you have to say about this, Mr. Godot?
I want to try a... I'm gonna switch his voice up a little bit. I want to see... How does this sound? It's got like a little robot twinge to the back of it. Nah, it's no... The vocoder doesn't work that well.
How about... No, okay, let's leave it. I'll just leave it. This coffee here, it's my own special blend. I call it Godot 107. I'm trying to decide whether to cut down on the acidity or the bitterness. It's the only thing I've got on my mind right now, Mr. Trey.
What?
If you're really a man, you should clean up your own mess.
Sorry, but I don't get what you mean.
If you're saying it wasn't Mask to Mask that stole that urn, then it must be someone intimidating Mask to Mask's methods. A fake. A fake Damask?
fake damask? That sounds so ridiculous, but I like it.
Now, before I decide on my coffee, I believe some proof is in order, Mr. Trite. Proof that the person who appeared at Lordly Taylor that night was actually a fake.
Though I don't approve of Mr. Godot's behavior, his point is valid. Mr. Wright, we're waiting.
Oh, it looks like I'm gonna have to prove it. I need proof that the person at Lordly Taylor that night was in fact fake damask. Okay. Publicity photo. He's got this big medallion on and like the things going down his chest, the big shoulder pads, the mask, obviously, the hat, little thingy there, and okay. Now let's look at the crime scene photo. Well, the first thing that's pointed out here is he doesn't have his little emblem on the chest. So this could arguably be a fake damask. He has everything else from the looks of it. I think this is our evidence to present because he clearly doesn't have that piece. Take that. The proof is right here.
This looks like a photo taken by a security camera.
But if you look closely, you'll notice something peculiar about it.
Heh. Heh. Well then, why don't you go ahead and show us what it is? Go on, use the pointer and show us just what about this picture is so peculiar.
It's his neck. It's right here, of course.
You mean mask demask?
I have here a piece of reference I would like the court to take a look at. Isn't that the publicity photo I brought this morning? The problem I have with the security camera photo is the brooch on Damask's chest.
A breach? Here? Bailiff, get my steed! We need to retire at once!
A brooch, Your Honor. Sort of like a clasp for holding one's cape on?
Clasp, eh? Oh, I see now.
But that Damask in the security camera photo... Oh! He has no brooch! That brooch is the same as the emblem on Damask's calling card and serves as his symbol. But the thief that broke into Lordly Taylor wasn't wearing a brooch. In other words, this Mask Damask is a fake. I've been fooled again!
Order! It's true. Undeniably true. Detective Gumshoe, how could you have overlooked this?
I'm sorry, sir. I don't know how I...
Hey now, if you're gonna have a pity party, invite me too.
Mr. Godot, you deserve some of the blame in this too. How could you have overlooked such a large brooch?
This brooch you're talking about? Do you mean this brooch?
Huh? That's Mask Damask's brooch?
Where did you find it?
Well, I've always had a good nose for evidence. I got it at the crime scene. It was hidden in the shadow of a big female Buddha statue.
Buddha statue? He must mean the Amy Faye statue. Why didn't you tell me about that, sir?
I always put evidence away in my pocket. After all, it's the safest place for crucial evidence.
This guy is one cool customer.
It's a little early to be shaken up, isn't it, lady? That friend of yours left pretty little hickeys on there, too.
Hickeys? What?
Figuratively speaking, of course. I'm referring to Ron Delight's fingerprints.
What? What? The defendant's fingerprints are on the brooch? Order in my courtroom! Mr. Godot, let's see that brooch.
I've grown attached to my metallic girlfriend here. Take good care of her.
It appears to have been torn off some clothing. There's a little bit of cloth left on the back.
Obviously, there must have been a big struggle that night at the crime scene.
Uh-oh. Phoenix, we have a problem. Damask's brooch was added to the court record. I want to investigate it.
Ha! You mess with the Godot, and you get burned.
I love this guy. Found in the shadows of Amy Faye's statue. Looks like it was torn off some clothing. Oh, he's been playing me like a violin.
Well, Judge, I'm about ready to call my next witness.
Huh? You done with me? But I haven't proved anything yet.
You've proven your own incompetence. That's good enough.
Oh, that doesn't sound too good at all.
Bailiff, bring the next witness into the courtroom.
Finally, time for the ace detective to make his appearance. Huh?
One second is one drip of the coffee pot. Let's hurry it up.
Shh. Silence. Yo, 2 in a row? 2 days in a row? Damn, I'm feeling spoiled now. Jinsey, welcome on in. Guys, come on. Hello, friends. What's up, dudes? Come on in to the spicy. That was good timing, right? As I said silence. Welcome to the stream, guys. We're playing Phoenix Wright here today. Again, continuing the thrilling case we were deep into yesterday. For everyone coming in, I'll take a quick little break to give you guys a little rundown of the case so far, what's going on, what we're trying to prove, who we're defending, all that good stuff. So, this is a robbery case. Every other case in the games up until now has been murder, so this is nice. Criminal Mask Damask. Famed robber, this man right here, has stolen the legendary little sacred urn from the Faye exhibit. Now, we have a picture of him at the scene of the crime, but he's missing his brooch. Now, right now, the man who's being accused of the crime is none other than Ron Delight, right here. He turned himself in, but his wife, Desiree Delight, says that Ron is delusional and just has like a mega crush on the dude and isn't actually, you know, a criminal. Now, she's suspicious in and of herself, but other than that, we're just kind of going through trying to solve everything. This man right here on the big screen is Luke Atme, an ace detective who is doing his best to find enough evidence to take down Mr. Damask. Now, we have all of our own theories about who's guilty and who's innocent in this case so far. I'll let you make your own assumptions here. Can I get a link to the Sonic Remix playlist, please? It's not a play. I just clicked play song radio. It's not even a playlist. I would give it to you if I had it, dude. Anyway, I'm gonna dive back in, guys. I do a lot of just like reading and voice acting when I play Phoenix Wright games, so I'm not gonna be responding to chat too much. But yeah, welcome on in, and Jinsey, thanks again for that host. I really appreciate it. All right, let's get back into it. Shh, silence. Now I see. It's all becoming clear.
What's clear?
The truth has once again been elegantly revealed to me. What we have here is a judge and a prosecutor. A coffee maniac at that. Am I correct?
Well, yes, that's right.
Not bad. Not bad at all. You're the first person that's ever been able to penetrate my secret veil.
Well, Sir Prosecutor, let me introduce myself. My name is Luke Atme, ace detective and rising star illuminating the heavens. Boy, these two make a perfect pair. They'd either be best friends or they'd tear each other's heads off.
I've heard that on the night of the crime, you were alone on security detail.
You have held correctly. My special maid monocle is worth more than 100 Detective Gumshoes. I took care of it. Thanks, chat. If Detective Gumshoe is worth anything, that is. Why was this guy all by himself anyway? There must be some reason. I'm sure of it.
Well then, tell us what this special monocle of yours witnessed.
What I witnessed. Let's get the full story. It was approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, just after the date changed. And that's when my nemesis, the infamous Mask de Mask, dancingly descended upon me. Just as I began to turn, the coward struck a fierce blow upon my noble head. Darkness swallowed me before I could land a single strike. When I awoke, he was gone. 30 minutes later, I used an emergency phone to notify the police.
So you didn't get a clear look at the criminal?
My specially made monocle never misses a thing. However, that is limited to things that fall within my own visual range. But of course, that's only natural.
I failed to see why the witness seemed so proud of his performance that evening.
Well, sir, old-timer, let me explain. We are not speaking of any ordinary thief, but of the king of thieves, the great Mask de Mask, my arch-nemesis. That is what my instincts and my years of experience tell me.
Very well. Proceed with the cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Yes, sir. Approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, just after the date changed. Give me more info. I want to know more. So that'd be 1 o'clock on the morning of the 12th, correct? Where's our report? Where's our report of the day the crime happened? I don't have one. Usually we have a murder log, an autopsy report. That is an impressive deduction, Sir Loyal. You were on security duty that night? What exactly were you, where exactly were you at the time? A penetrating question. I was in the basement warehouse, near the computer. Near the computer, huh?
So you weren't trying to remain hidden, I take it.
Up to this point, I have tried to remain concealed while waiting for the thief. Yeah, he said the same thing yesterday, too. Gumshoe also said that he never saw him at the crime scene. Precisely. That is precisely why I have chosen not to hide last night. I knew that by not concealing myself, I would be putting pressure on the thief. Looks like the thief was the one applying the pressure. On your pigeony head, that is. Yo, ALC, what's up, dude? Hey. Yeah, I have the talent of
immediately altering
my voice!
That one was too loud. I apologize. Been training it for years, you know. In any case, that is when my nemesis, the infamous Mask de Mask, dancingly descended upon me. Dancingly descended? From where exactly? Well, from the entrance, I suppose. Where else? So in actuality, he neither danced nor descended. Ah, someone please save me. So how is it that you didn't notice the thief? My eyes were looking for the thief's shadow, while my ears listened to his footfalls. But even so, the dastardly criminal managed to sneak up on me. It can only be due to his subtle camouflage cape and soft-soled shoes. I hereby dub you Ace Dunce. Just as I began to turn, the coward struck a fierce blow upon my noble head. We know that's true so far. You didn't see the criminal's face when that happened? Well, that's the difficult part. How should I put it? I saw his mask. That is all I can recall.
That's not very solid as far as testimony goes.
However, fortunately, I had my celled monocle, the security camera, at the ready. It captured his image perfectly. This should be sufficient, I believe.
Well, as long as this photo is authentic, I don't see a problem here. Well, Mr. Godot, do you have a problem with this photo?
Yo, Godot is my favorite of the prosecutor characters so far. I like his dumb coffee gimmick a lot more than the whip.
Good. Then let's continue with the testimony.
Darkness swallowed me before I could land a single strike. When I awoke, he was gone. Attacked and knocked unconscious, and you weren't able to do a thing? It's certainly some very impressive detective work. Humph! Well, Sir Loyal, have you ever been suddenly struck on the head? Huh? Well, actually, yeah, by a fire extinguisher. And what happened? Well, I was knocked out. And you lost your memory, too. You see? You have no right to look down on me then, do you? The only reason I didn't lose my memory was because I have more brains to begin with. He may have brains, but the wiring to his self-reflection part seems to be severed. In any case, that was how I was knocked senseless, and then 30 minutes later, I used an emergency phone to notify the police. About this 30 minutes, my silver cord was loosened, and my soul fled to the golden holes of Asylum, Elysium. As usual, I have no idea what this guy is saying. I think he's saying that he was out cold.
So what happened during these 30 minutes?
No one can say, Your Honor. That span of time has clearly vanished into the ether. Just what is he going on about? There's something suspicious about Detective Atme. How could he not have noticed when the thief came in? Also, he says he was knocked unconscious before he could fight back, but that can't be right. It contradicts the evidence. Huh? Which piece? The real question is, why would he tell such an obvious lie? Okay. What evidence do I have that it explicitly goes against his statement here? Knocked unconscious before he could fight back, but that can't be right. It contradicts the evidence. Yeah, because I guess because he was hit with the sword, right? He was hit with the Shichishito. The Shichishito. And we all know that the big statue of Amy Faye was holding the Shichishito. Now, for him to have been hit by the Shichishito, the thief would have... I wish I had floor plans, but essentially, the thief would have had to do this. Enter through this door, on the left, go to where that big spill is, that little area, grab the sword, and then get behind Luke at me. All before Luke had any chance to notice him or fight back in any way, shape, or form. And that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I also don't really know exactly where to present right now. Attacked and knocked unconscious and you weren't able to do a thing? Yeah, I don't... And what happened? Blubbity blue, I was knocked out and lost memory. You see, you have no right to look down on me. The only reason I didn't lose my memory was because I had more brains to begin with. You may have brains, but blibbity blubbity blue. That was how I was knocked senseless, and then... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Darkness swallowed me before I could land a single strike, and when I awoke, he was gone. But now... Okay, so... Number one, the Shichi Shito. It makes no sense for him to not... Like, for all that to go on. But I think, now that it's cluing in, he's missing his brooch in the picture, right? And it's been torn off clothing. So, he obviously had a chance to fight back. That has to be it. Objection! Objection! Mr. Atme, could you take a look at this with that special monocle of yours? Aha! This belongs to the criminal mastermind, my arch nemesis, Mask de Mask. It is, in point of fact, Mask de Mask's brooch. It was found on the floor of the basement warehouse. I wonder how that happened. Elementary, my dear Loyal. Obviously, it wasn't glued on well enough. Not quite. It clearly shows signs of having been ripped off a piece of clothing.
Ripped off? Oh!
We can only deduce that the thief struggled with someone that night. That's the only thing I can think of. And there's only one person that was in a position to have a struggle with the thief. The only person that was on security duty that night, and that is you, Detective Atme. Monsieur. Detective Atme, you must have fought with the thief that night, so why did you lie in your testimony to the court?
Witness, giving a false testimony is a serious crime.
No! Wait just a moment, still old timer.
Don't talk to me like I'm living in a nursing home.
I just remembered, Your Honor. I was just confused because I was dealing with so many cases lately.
The true measure of a man is in the amount of work he does. That's what I always say.
Nick, you can only handle one case at a time, isn't that right? You talk too much.
Witness, so are you now saying that you and the thief fought?
Hold on. That's quite enough, Your Honor.
Excuse me?
Save the big questions for the testimony. That's one of my rules.
Indeed, I understand. I look at me, agree completely. Fight with the thief. Oh! Okay. Indeed, it is true that I looked away from the door for a brief moment. However, look at me cannot be so easily discombobulated. Unfortunately, the thief grabbed a weapon from the side and rendered me senseless. As a true gentleman fights only with his fists, but they were not enough. His first blow struck true, bam! And that's all she wrote.
So, in the end, you did catch a glimpse of Mask de Mask?
Correct. It was during this third climb that he struck me from behind. It seems that my memory has become a tad jumbled, so to speak.
Well, that's certainly understandable. I myself always get confused about which testimony goes with which case.
That can't be good. Okay. Indeed, it is true that I looked away at the door for a brief moment. Then what were you looking at? So why did you look away from the door anyway? In addition to the camera, I had prepared a variety of sensors as well. An alarm on the door, or an alarm on one of those had gone off. So I had to check the data. That is why I went to the computer, elegantly, of course. So you were momentarily vulnerable while you were working on the computer? What should I do? Should I ask some more questions? Yeah. Ask about the sensor. What kind of sensors are you talking about? There are other places in the basement that someone could enter and exit from. There are air ducts, sewer pipes, and a cat door as well. I hooked up heat-detecting infrared and ultraviolet sensors to each of them. That's a lot of hardware. Was it all yours? Lordly Taylor Department Store was kind enough to provide the monitoring hardware.
Naturally, the security cameras that took the photo belongs to them as well.
In other words, he couldn't have rigged the equipment, huh?
Has that cleared up any doubts about that you had about me, Sir Loyal?
Nope, not yet. I want to ask you about the computer. So why did you look away from the door anyway? So did the computer belong to Lordly Taylor as well?
Correct. Well, except for the program that manages the data. That was specially designed by me. Look at me.
In that case, he could have easily manipulated the data.
What's wrong, Sir Loyal?
Okay, so now we know that the computer used a program that was specifically run by him, and he's not super trustworthy. Hold on one second, guys. I gotta turn on my AC. The room's starting to get hot now that the regular house AC turned off, and I installed a brand new, well, not brand new, but I installed a window air conditioner, and I'm really proud of myself for doing it, and I want to be nice and cool. Hopefully the microphone doesn't pick it up too hard. Explorers Away post memes. Wow, I'm surprised I didn't get a single Jakku is this. Or a moist fine during that little phase. Dude, the office gets hot with the lights and the computer and the monitors and the me talking in it and it being a small closed room. It gets hot. I need this AC, man. Alright.
However, look at me cannot be so easily discombobulated.
What does that mean, discombobulated?
Young people these days, man. They really irritate me. They allow a perfectly good old word to die until everyone forgets what they mean.
Sorry, but what exactly does it mean anyway?
Now I've forgotten. What was I saying?
Ugh, it's better than old people who forget what they were saying 5 seconds ago.
Well, it looks like we've cleared that up. You can go on with your testimony.
Wow, really?
Unfortunately, the thief grabbed a weapon from the side and, well, rendered me useless.
What do you mean by weapon from the side?
Naturally, the thief had no idea that I, look at me, was hiding in the area. He grabbed the sword from the statue that was standing by the door in the warehouse.
Sword? You mean the sword that was all twisted like a tree branch?
Correct. Fortunately for me, the blade was not sharp.
Okay, so he is talking about the Shichishito.
So the thief armed himself with a sword. And what about yourself, witness?
A true gentleman fights only with his fists, but they were not enough.
You had that much faith in your own fighting abilities?
But of course, in college I was second in charge of the boxing club.
I am sorry if I failed to find that appropriately impressive.
However, my opponent in the ring this time was my arch nemesis, Mask de Mask.
This guy's a real piece of work.
His first blow struck true and bam! That's all she wrote.
Alright, let's press that. Can you tell us a little bit more about what happened?
My opponent was most powerful and vicious.
14 months. Yo, Joica with the 14 in a row. Dude, thanks for that concurrent day one support, man. I really appreciate it. Killer, dude. Thank you so much.
My opponent was both powerful and vicious. You might say he was powerlicious.
Powericious?
I assume the Atme fighting stance, but a sudden flash of light blinded me. That, of course, was checkmate. My opponent had bested me.
What do I do now? Should I ask more about this? Yeah, the sudden flash of light. So what was this flash of light that blinded you?
I was bathed in a golden light that seemed to be coming from the statue of the woman.
The statue of Amy Faye, I'm guessing? Well, that wasn't very much help at all. What do you think, Nick? Well, there's only one thing I'm absolutely sure of now. Yeah, what is it? This Luke Atme guy. He's definitely hiding something. But why? I think I'm starting to figure out what really happened that night. And about the true nature of this detective. Okay. Let's take a look at our evidence and let's see how we want to proceed here. So, that's the treasure. Amy Faye's golden statue moved the night of the crime. Sacred urn, supposedly priceless. The calling card, the camera data, the sword with the bend in it. The security camera photo. And that's about it for, yeah, I don't know exactly how to continue here. I want to press and ask about his fighting style. All right. What is the Atme fighting style?
I am sorry, but it is a trade secret. I really cannot say anymore. But I suppose I can tell you if I absolutely must. The main thing is to put your back to the wall. That way, no one can get behind you.
Oh! That's big.
Well, Mr. Wright, what about that testimony?
Very important. Of course it's important. We've learned a detective's secret technique after all.
Yes, indeed. I'll remember to use it if I ever take a walk alone late at night.
Why the heck is he eyeballing me like that? It's creeping me out.
Now then, witness, we'll go ahead and add that secret information to your official testimony.
I put my back to the wall to fight, but the thief's blow landed upon my celled eye.
And then right here, a blow to the back of the head. Objection! Detective Atme, your testimony is crumbling like a house of cards. Stupid hair keeps falling.
What fun is this, Sir Loyal? Is this truly a pleasure to cross swords with you? And now, once again, you have thrown down the gauntlet at my armored feet.
I believe this is what you said yesterday.
No, the coward must have wound his way in through somewhere besides the door. Then my arch-nemesis struck me on the head from behind with this gruesome item here.
From behind, huh?
But just now, you testified that he struck you on the forehead. I hardly think that you could forget where you were hit on the head.
Ugh! It seems I have made another mistake.
Detective Atme, that's not the only strange part of your testimony.
What do you mean by that?
For example, the fact that you hid the calling card from the police itself is strange. It's almost as if you were afraid that they were going to help with security.
Geniuses such as myself have always been misunderstood. How sad. That's wrong!
To err is human. To forgive is divine. Humans aren't machines. They have souls, feelings. They live, they die, they love, they hate. Yes, They even make mistakes.
Hey, hold on. It's not as pretty as that.
Really? What's it like then? Always chase a riddle down to the end. That's one of my rules.
This is it. This might just be my chance to turn things around.
Mr. Wright, what exactly is that you're asserting?
Very well, Your Honor. The defense asserts that, Mr. Atme is mask demask, Mr. Atme is a fake, or Mr. Atme is no ace detective. I think it's that he's mask demask. But I also feel like that's so free that it can't be that. You know what I mean? Like, that feels too free. That feels way too free. I'm going for it. The answer is simple. It's all clear to me now. Detective Luke Atme's true identity is actually Mask Demask. Yeah!
Order in this court. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this?
There are too many unnatural parts to Mr. Atme's story. He says he was hiding at the crime scene, which is why no one ever saw him there. And then, in the last case, he manages to outperform Detective Gumshoe and the entire police force to miraculously retrieve the stolen treasure.
That is because I analyzed the crime scene data and made an exquisitely elegant deduction. I picked up clues the police overlooked in order to arrive at...
Oh, please. The explanation is far simpler than that, Detective Atme. The truth is that you are, in fact, Mask Demask. Gah!
But Mr. Wright, this photo, it clearly shows Demask. The security camera belongs to Lordly Taylor Department Store. He shouldn't have been able to manipulate it.
He didn't need to manipulate it. He gained access to the warehouse under the pretense of providing security. Then he simply dressed as the thief and stole the urn.
So, the ace detective is actually an ace thief? Is this true, witness?
Demask's MO is pure genius, and so am I. Look at me, the detective. You're very clever to have come to such a conclusion. I am impressed, Sir Loyal.
What? Witness, you're admitting it?
Nick, now's your chance. Yes. It's time to put the last nail in this guy's coffin. Detective Atme, when you assume the thief's identity...
Godot Blend 102. My personal favorites.
Mr. Godot!
The ace detective is actually an ace thief. I smell a best-selling novel. There's only one problem, though. It simply isn't true.
But Mr. Godot, Mr. Wright has made some very strong points, and
I will admit, my opponent has woven a compelling narrative out of the whole cloth. But it is, in fact, nothing more than a patchwork quilt. Now, Mr. Trite.
If this detective really is the thief, then show us the proof of your claim.
It had better be as hot and as perfect as the coffee dripping down your face.
Well, Mr. Wright, don't just stand there.
Some people say it's better than busting a nut.
This court would like to see decisive proof you have, quickly.
Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. What's the big rush? Are you all right, Nick? Atme looks pretty rattled right now. I'd like to finish this right now if I could, but can I really do it? The decisive evidence that proves Luke Atme is in fact Mask Demask. Do we have it? I don't think we have decisive evidence. Amy Faye's golden statue, the sacred urn, the calling card, the camera data, the Shichishito, the security camera photo. It doesn't prove anything. See, the thing is, where is his nose? If this is him, where's the nose? I think we need more clues. Proof? Of course I've got nothing.
Just what I thought. A man has got to hold his head up high no matter how bad things get, after all.
Ugh. I see. I thought perhaps you had some evidence to back up your assertion.
This is no good. I've got to stay on the attack. I'll never get another chance to prove that this guy is the thief. Don't give up, Nick. Think harder and try again. It's no good. I'm just not ready yet. But are you going to just give up and let us lose this?
So, you've come to your senses, have you, Sir Lawyer?
I can't think of a counterattack at all.
It seems the cloud of suspicion surrounding the witness has lifted. Mr. Godot, if you have anything further to add, then...
Hold it, someone said.
What? Who? Who are you?
That doesn't really matter right now, does it? Miss Delight, what are you doing here? Nicky boy, the thing you've been looking for. Why, I think I've found it.
You mean that bag?
No, not the bag. What's in the bag? Well...
That's...
The sacred urn? Nick, it's the urn! No, it's not.
Order! You, madam! That urn, where did you find it?
You'll never believe it. It was in the office of Mr. Fancy Pants Ace Detective Luke Atme. Hold on. The vase broke in Chapter 2 of Game 2 and was re-put together in the words in the letters I-A-M. That one said Mia on it. It can't, or Amy. It can't be the same one. It's obviously fraudulent evidence that she's trying to give me. It was in the office of Mr. Fancy Pants Ace Detective Luke Atme.
Oh, Jesse, you're the best!
Well, how do you explain that one, Mr. Atme? Even you are gonna have a hard time weaseling out of this one.
Pathetic.
Mr. Godot, do you have something you wish to say?
Yes, Your Honor. It simply amazes me how quickly times change. In the good old days, a man was to be taken at his word. It's truly sad.
You're still denying that Mr. Atme was involved.
Before casting aspirations at Detective Atme, consider the young lady here. Your name is Desiree? Desiree Delight, is that correct?
Yes. What about it?
How charming. The lengths that a woman is willing to go to save her husband is truly inspiring.
What are you insinuating?
As the wife of the criminal, you could have discovered that stolen urn anywhere, including the office of the good detective here.
He's got a point. He's got a good point.
So you found the urn. What does that prove? It certainly doesn't prove where the urn was before you found it.
What? I just brought it here from the detective's office.
Please, madam. This town is already filled to the brim with lies. Any more could only compound the tragedy we have been witness to.
You're wrong. I would never do such a thing. Miss Delight. Please, Nicky boy. You've got to help me talk some sense into these people. There must be some way. I've got to prove that the urn was actually an Atme Detective's agency. I saw it yesterday. I saw the bag yesterday. We could fingerprint it. Let's do that.
What's wrong? Isn't your job to come up with something to say?
Nick, come on. It should be easy to prove. After all, we checked out that bag, didn't we? You're right. I remember doing that. Whatever was in there, it was hard and round and smooth, too. Yeah, it must have been the urn. It must have. But I never actually saw it with my own eyes. True. Atme walked in just as I was about to have a look at it. So even if it was the urn in there, I can't testify that it was. You're right.
Ha! Looks like I was wrong about you, Mr. Trite. In this town overflowing with lies, there's still a single flickering candle of truth.
Nicky boy.
Well,
it's true that I never actually saw the urn, but maybe I can still testify about it from another angle.
What about it, Mr. Wright? Have you given up yet?
There must be some way. I've got to prove the urn was actually in the Atme Detective Agency. Show fingerprints. I can prove where the urn was by the fingerprints on it.
Fingerprints, eh?
Oh, come on now. Now you're really making me laugh, Sir Lawyer. Fingerprints indeed. May I go on? Good. Now, it would be perfectly understandable if my fingerprints were on the urn. After all, it was I who was guarding the urn in the first place. In any case, I am in the habit of wearing gloves, as you can see. So unfortunately, my fingerprints wouldn't be evidence of anything.
What about it, Mr. Wright? This witness's fingerprints would mean nothing anyway.
We got nothing. We got nothing. And there, I'm sure someone must have left fingerprints on it. The defense proposes that the fingerprints on this person should be on the urn. Who else? Maybe Adrian? Maybe Pearl? But if Pearl's fingerprints are on the urn, isn't that just gonna... If Pearl's fingerprints aren't on it, that proves the urn is fake, and then this all becomes useless. Maya, I don't think Maya's touched it. Could be Adrian. No, I don't think it's Butts. I don't think he ever came in contact with it. It's not this guy. Desiree wouldn't make sense because obviously hers would be on it. She just brought it here. Yo, Rex, welcome on in, guys. Thanks for that host, man. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Hello. Hello. My fingerprints should be on it. Right? Because Phoenix Wright touched it yesterday. He just said that. He said it was soft and round. He just didn't get to see it. But my fingerprints should be on it if it's the same one from yesterday, and that would prove it. I think this is it.
So what is all this fuss about fingerprints anyway?
Mr. Atme, did you recall the events of yesterday? Hey, Nick, come on, let's open it up. Hey, wait a minute. We can't just open up his private property. Don't be such a fuddy-duddy. It's an important investigation. Well, what's in there? Hang on a sec. I'm taking it out now. Whatever it is, it feels kind of hard and smooth.
Well, hello there.
It's true that I didn't get a chance to look at to look in the bag at the time, but I did touch what was inside.
What? You touched it?
And I remember it very well. It was smooth and hard.
Well, that was just...
Your Honor, I'd like the court to examine the fingerprints on that urn. If my fingerprints are on there, then it proves that that urn was in Detective Atme's office.
Well, even if your fingerprints are on the urn, it still doesn't prove when they were put on there, does it?
Of course it does.
What did you say?
Not what I said. It's what Adrian Andrews, the person in charge of the exhibition, said. I polished it until it was just about glowing. I thought maybe I could make it look more valuable. If she polished it that much, she must have removed any and all fingerprints on it. And the only chance I had to get my fingerprints on it was after that. Yesterday, at the Atme Detective Agency.
That blend. Dough Blend 107. I've decided. It's a little too bitter after all.
Order! 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 I accept the defense's request. Bailiff, take this urn and...
Wait! Wait a moment, Your Honor. There is no need for that.
No need, you say?
Precisely. I already know Mr. Wright's fingerprints are on the urn.
What are you saying?
Yeah, I've finally broken him down.
Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown.
This guy is nuttier than a fruitcake.
You see? It was me all along. I am the one and only Mask the Mask. I hope you all enjoyed my little performance.
Wait, what?
Well, Mr. Godot, what's Mr. Atme's condition?
He's still in the lobby, laughing insanely, Your Honor. I wish I could enjoy the joke as much as he seems to be.
Well, it looks like the matter has been settled. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of thief.
Nick, you were right after all. Yeah, I guess Mr. Delight really wasn't the thief.
The court finds the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight.
Hold it! Who? You're wrong! You're wrong, I tell you! I mean, not exactly wrong so much, but actually not right is what I was really trying to say. Oh no, he's not. This can't be happening. The thief! Oh, that sneaky, arduous thief who's been stealing all the treasures. It's me! I'm him! I'm the one you want! I'm the thief, I tell you! So do it! Pronounce me guilty! Please!
I don't know what kind of kangaroo court you all think this is, but...
The true identity of the thief has already been proven. Please hurry and pass What are you talking about? I already confessed. I'm the thief, I tell ya.
Mr. Godot, don't just stand there drinking coffee.
Hey there, Mr. Thief.
Yes, sir?
If you're really a man, then clean up your own mess.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm afraid I just don't have any idea of what you mean.
You are Mask to Mask, then prove it. Little man. That's what I mean.
Yes, sir. I'd be happy to, sir. He says he'll be happy to, Nick. Kinda cute. He's 100% committed to his fantasy.
Good boy. Just remember one thing. A boy only gets one chance in his life to become a man.
I know that. I won't fail. I swear.
Okay then. Talk. We're all listening.
Oh well. Let's all have a listen to this confession.
The truth is, I've been masked demask all along. I mean, you can't actually prove I'm not masked demask, can you? I don't have an alibi for the night the urn was stolen, after all. I donned my costume that night and dancingly descended upon the scene of the crime. Look, you can see right here in the photo, that's me. As for my brooch, I snagged it on the door handle and it got torn off, that's all.
I don't like the direction this trial is taken.
But this is how every trial goes. At least with me, anyway.
You're doing great.
Stop it, Mr. Godot. You're embarrassing me.
Like I said, you're only gonna get one chance to testify, alright? But if you make it through this with flying colors, I'll keep my promise too. I'll make sure you stay locked up in prison as the one and only true Damask.
Thank you so much, Mr. Godot. I'll do my best.
All right, Mr. Wright. I'm afraid it's time for the cross-examination.
Ugh. This guy's an idiot. That's what's wrong with him. He's weird as shit. I don't know. I mean, you can't prove that I'm not actually masked to mask, can you? I don't have an alibi for the night the urn was stolen after all, except for this right here. Ron's wallet found at 1 a.m. Around 1 a.m. the night of the night of the crime. Let's press here first. I thought you were gonna be the one to show us proof. You know, that you're really masked to mask and not just some kind of obsessed fanboy. Hey now, that's not fair. Why do I have to do all the hard work anyway? Maybe because you're the one making the outrageous claim for a change? Oh, come on, Nick.
Which is
You know
worse,
that Mr.
Eddie
Delight
or
couldn't have
Ron
committed
Delight?
the crime. Oh, dude, Ron Delight's so much worse than Abby. So much. But thanks for those bits, dude. You're the one with the fancy law degree. It's time to put it to work already. I need some kind of proof that Ron couldn't possibly be demasked. Well, I guess if you had that kind of proof, we wouldn't still be here, would we? For the time being, maybe I need to shift strategy. I should try to show that Mr. Delight couldn't have stolen the urn. Anyway, I'm going with the wallet.
Objection!
Mr. Delight, this wallet belongs to you, correct? Oh, yes, it does. I had lost it somewhere.
Mr. Wright, when you find a wallet, you should report it to the police right away.
Oh, no, you don't understand. This is an important piece of evidence.
Evidence?
Mr. Delight, when did you first notice that you'd lost your wallet? Let's see. I think it was on the night of the crime. But I know that I still had it when Desi and I went out for dinner. This wallet was found at approximately 1 a.m. at the KB security headquarters.
What? Surely you're not serious.
Yes, I am serious. This proves that Mr. Delight was, in fact, at KB security that night. No! So if the defendant was at KB security at 1 o'clock in the morning, then that proves that he has a watertight alibi. No! Furthermore, considering the distance between Lordly Taylor and KB security, it would have taken 30 minutes to get there by car. According to Larry, anyway.
Well, Mr. Godot, do you have anything to say? And stop drinking that coffee.
Come on, Mr. Thief. Don't let this guy beat you. Tell him why he's wrong.
You're the only one who calls me thief, Mr. Godot. All right, I'll try. I'll do it. I will. He's really got Mr. Delight all worked up. Yeah, he's like a kid at his first day of school. Look, it's just ridiculous. Why would I have dropped my wallet at KB security? Someone must have planted it there to make it look like I was there and not at the heist. Planted it there? It's really reaching now. Mr. Delight, you probably dropped your wallet when you took it out to use this, didn't you? The key card to KB Security's CEO office. No!
That was a pretty good try, Mr. Trite. Unfortunately, you've overlooked one small thing.
What?
Motive, of course. Why would the thief go to KB Security in the middle of the night anyway?
Huh.
Well, Mr. Wright, it looks like you need some more evidence after all.
Stupid kid.
Now then, let's see your evidence. The evidence that shows why Mr. Delight went to KB Security at 1 a.m. that night.
It's gotta be this blackmail letter. If you don't want your true identity revealed to the world, come to KB Security at 1 a.m. on October 12th and bring $50,000. If you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. I have no idea what the red diamond's about. I have no idea who sent this letter. I don't know anything about anything right now. What I do know is that, A, Desiree is only with this guy because she's a gold digger, so we know that Mr. Delight is a wealthy gentleman. So $50,000 blackmail letter sent to him actually does make sense to a degree, and we also know that the red diamond was not one of the things that Masque de Masque had stolen. He stole a big blue diamond, a crown, a gauntlet, and a painting, and then now the jar, or the vase. So there is nowhere that a red diamond is present in any of that. Mr. Delight, I believe you've seen this before, correct? Huh? That's...
What is it?
A blackmail letter. This is what it looks like from the contents.
Blackmail?
Yes, basically it says, bring $50,000.
That certainly sounds like blackmail, all right.
At the time of the theft, Mr. Delight was dealing with the blackmailer himself in KB Security's CEO office, a full half an hour away from the scene of the crime.
No, 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 no!
Order in my courtroom. So when the theft of the urn occurred, the defendant was at KB Security. It looks like a perfect case for the defense.
You may see it as a perfect case, Judge, but to me, nah. Well, let's just say that my Godot Blend 107 impresses me a lot more.
What are you trying to say?
You say the thief was being blackmailed by the CEO of a security company, but did you actually investigate the CEO at all?
Huh? Well, no, I guess not.
Accusing a man of blackmail with no proof? I'm not sure what I think of that.
I'm not sure what I think of that. At least I know what I think of you.
Huh. Good points. I'm not sure what I think of it myself. You claim the defendant entered the CEO's office, but you will need at least one witness to corroborate your claim, Mr. Wright.
Nick, I think we're gonna have to track down that CEO guy. No, we don't have to track down the CEO at all.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Trite?
There's someone else who can testify. The person who can testify that the key card was used at 1 a.m. last night is Larry Butts.
Who is this useless-looking young man?
You don't remember him, Your Honor?
Not exactly. But just looking at his picture makes me... the bile start to rise in my throat.
It looks like he doesn't remember the case from 2 years ago. He probably blocked out that memory on purpose. Anyway, this man was working as a security guard at KB Security that night.
Oh?
The question at hand is the key card. Yep, that's a key card they use in the buildings where I work. According to the serial numbers, this one is for the CEO's office. You need it to get into that room, and every time you use that card, it leaves a record. Yeah, it tells you exactly who entered the room and when. Good stuff. As you can see, there is no need to investigate the CEO of KB Security. We should be able to discover the truth simply by analyzing this key card's data.
Huh. Blah!
I love that guy so much. Yo, best prosecutor so far, dude. I mean, other than Edgeworth. Edgeworth has, like, cool story, but best additional prosecutor so far.
Well, Mr. Godot,
The name of the CEO of KB Security is Kane Bullard. I was unable to contact him directly, but I got the keycard data. Here.
so what does it show?
Each keycard has its own serial number, and they leave detailed records of their use. According to this data, the card was used at 1 a.m. on the morning of the crime.
But that means it can't be Mr. Delight that's dressed as Mask Damask in this photo.
It looks like you're right. 2 minutes isn't even enough time to brew a good cup of joe.
So then...
Ron Delight was clearly in the office of KB's Security's CEO at the time of the crime. The prosecutor's office is ready to admit that fact. Therefore, it's impossible for the defendant to be Mask Damask.
Good job, you did it, Nick!
That's enough. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man, besmirching him with the title of thief.
What's wrong, Your Honor?
I'm ready to pass judgment, but before I do that, do you have any further objections?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight, not guilty.
Yay!
Court is now adjourned.
October 13th, 2:24 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 4. Nick, you did it! You were right after all. This trial, this isn't over. I guarantee you this isn't over. We didn't solve shit. We didn't solve shit. We don't know who Mask Damask is. At least I think we don't. No, I guess we do. He kind of admitted it. But like, we didn't recover any of the stolen stuff. This vase is clearly a fake. There's definitely more to it than what's here. Look at this. It's covered in pink goo that was in the warehouse anyway. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is weird. Actually, I'm a little bit ashamed of myself. Nicky boy. Oh, Miss Delight. I knew you could do it. I believed in you all along, Nicky boy. I don't know how I can ever repay you. Aw, shucks. Thanks, Miss Delight. I just know I'm blushing. Congratulations, Mr. Nick. Oh, Pearls. I got a bad feeling about this. Who is this woman? Oh, she's nobody. Just, You're blushing! How dare you do this in front of Mystic Maya? You should be ashamed of yourself. Pearly, this woman is Miss Desiree Delight. She's our client's wife. Mr. Nick! Yeah? You're even worse than I thought. Going behind the back of your own client. No. You got it all wrong. A double slap. Well, anyway, all's well that ends well, right? We got the sacred urn back, and the thief has been caught. You're so right, and it's all thanks to Nicky boy here. But actually, it was you, Miss Delight, that brought us our urn back. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Oh, please. You're embarrassing me. If we won the case, then why does this guy still look so glum? But I am the thief. What's the point? What is it, honey? I did my best for you, Ronnie. Yeah, I still think it's her too, Jinsey. Or, it's either her or him. But, like, she's even, like, a thrill seeker, you know? It could be her for that particular reason. I know that, and I appreciate it, Desi, but the thing is...
Come on. Give the kid some time. He just got a little torch of the blues. You know about feeling blue, right, amigo?
Mr. Godot, what are you doing here?
Oh, come on. I come here to say thanks to my newest buddy. You, Mr. Trite.
Maybe you should learn my name before you call me Buddy.
Well, playtime is over.
Huh?
Early this morning, the body of Kane Bullard was discovered.
Kane Bullard? Where have I heard that name before? Isn't that the name of the CEO of KB Security? Body?
The estimated time of death was 1 a.m. on October 12th.
1 a.m. on October... You don't mean...
That's right, amigo. At the same time that cheap little urn was being stolen, the CEO of KB Security was being murdered.
So, then... What are you doing here?
Oh, come on. You figured it out already, haven't you, amigo? Or have you already forgotten about that piece of info I helped you out with today?
Help me out with? What?
On October 12th, at 1 o'clock in the morning, Ron DeLite was in the CEO's office, the scene of the murder. After getting that blackmail letter, he must have been imbrued with utter rage.
What are you saying? Imbrued with rage?
Come on, don't tell me you didn't know it. Ron DeLite was once an employee of KB Security. He was a professional security guard.
An employee of KB Security?
It looks like the alibi that saved him from being convicted as a thief is gonna be the noose that gets him hanged. Kind of an anti-alibi.
No way.
He can't be the thief because he was at the murder scene when the murder occurred.
No, that's a lie. It cannot be true. But I am a thief, I tell you.
Ron DeLite, you're going back to prison again. This time the charge is much more serious. This time you'll be tried for murder.
What? That is impossible!
I'm looking forward to another exciting showdown, Mr. Trite. You and I aren't through with each other just yet. Surely you won't back down from a challenge. You've never been a coward.
Mr. Nick, is there something personal between you two? Is he in my court record? Is his identity in my court? How old is he? Oh, I don't know. Mr. Nick, is there something personal between you two?
I've returned from the depths of hell to do battle with you. At least let me have some fun while I'm here.
This guy, who the heck is... I know, right? Who is he? He may be quiet, but he's the most dangerous enemy I've ever faced.
Well then, time to say goodbye to Mr. DeLite.
Nick, how could this be happening? Right in front of our very eyes, our client has been arrested for murder. And the one who established his presence at the scene, it was me! Ew! Ronnie! Wow, what a twist of events. Arrested for murder on the very same day he's declared innocent of larceny? What the heck's gonna happen next?
Find out next time on Phoenix Wright.